All right, joined by Joe LaCava, one of the all-time caddies here on the PGA Tour. And man, your son goes out and he caddies for the winner. Joe Highsmith gets it done. How'd that feel for you as a dad?
Incredible feeling. I mean, when he used to, make 12 tackles back in high school, I thought that was thrilling. But to watch that Sunday unfold like that, I mean, there's nothing like it. Just an amazing, amazing feeling.
And so I'm guessing you and Megan, your wife, were just at home, and where are you watching?
Yeah, no, as it turns out, we're on the couch, just the two of us, which was great. She's leaping off the couch every 2 minutes, screaming and yelling. And then she goes, this is nothing compared if you weren't home. And I'm just kind of laying on the couch half asleep. I wasn't half asleep, but you know what I mean. I'm in my mode of just trying to low-key it because there's a lot of golf left. But when he hit that shot on 9 close and made the easy birdie on 10, and then made kind of a bonus birdie on 11 because that's a tough hole, I said, okay, here we go. We got a shot.
Was there a certain point as you're watching your son caddy there for Joe that you feel like, you know what, whatever I've taught him, whatever he's learned from other caddies, it's going to have to come into play however it plays, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Have I told him a couple things? Of course I have. But I said, it's kind of a learning experience. You learn from other caddies, other players. You learn from Charlie and Tiger at the father-son and stuff like that. So just pick up on anything and everything that you can. And I said, don't be afraid of the moment. And I don't think either one of them were. Yeah.
And the moment, obviously, did you wake up a little bit from your kind of relaxed state?
I overplayed it. I wasn't sleeping, but you know what I mean? I was kind of relaxed, and I'm thinking to myself, it's funny, I got a friend of mine back home, a guy named Hags, and he said to me, I don't know, at 11 o'clock before they even teed off, would you take 69 right now? And normally I would say yes, because the kid's young. He's a year and a half in. And I said, you know what? Not really today, because I think he had enough chances in the fall and was in kind of contention, was in the last group at one tournament. I'm not saying the kid's ready, but I'm also not satisfied with 69. Let's just see what today brings. And then, lo and behold, he shoots 64, which I think was incredible on that last day because it's not easy. Tougher pins, the conditions. I think the up and down on 14 was huge. He hits it drive to the left in the rough, and they're going back and forth, hits it over the green, into a lie, kind of into the grain, into the rough. Very, very easy to chunk that thing. And to Joe's credit, Highsmith, he hit it straight up in the air, came in soft, and he made that 6-footer. And I think, okay, now we're off to the races. I think it's a whole different ballgame if he doesn't get that thing up and down on 14.
And when he gets the job done and wins, how did you react? What was going through your mind and thoughts?
Just very excited for Joe. Typical me, trying to run the show. I actually text him, not to congratulate him. I text him. I said, listen, here's what's going to happen. I said, you got 3 or 4 groups out there. I said, the superintendent's going to scoop the flag. That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. So you have to get down there and be on or near the green when these guys put out to grab that flag. Otherwise, you're never going to have an opportunity to get it. He says, really, that's how it works? I said, yeah, the superintendents always come around the last group and grab the pins. That's what they're supposed to do. So that's kind of what that was going through my mind. That was the first thing. You got to grab that flag. That's the most important thing.
And then what was the messages like after that with him? Was it a chance to say attaboy, anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit. My wife FaceTimed him, of course, and they were in a little after-party area with Joe and Joe's mom. My Joe's girlfriend happened to be down there. My daughter was actually there working for Golf Channel, so it was almost a big family party and event. We didn't keep him from celebrating with his friends and having a good time. We talked to him for 2 or 3 minutes, and we're just over the moon for him.
On the FaceTime call?
Yeah, the FaceTime call, yeah.
And I would imagine with the connection with Freddie and similarities with you in your days caddying for him, did you hear much from Freddie in the aftermath?
Hear much. In a good way, I heard a lot from Fred. I mean, he's been touting this kid for 2 years. He's a Seattle kid like Fred. So I finally one day said, Fred, okay, take the Mariners hat off for a second. Take the Seattle hat off. Is this guy the real deal or not? He said, listen, I'm telling you what. I don't tout many people, but this kid can play the game. He's got every shot, and he's not afraid. And he's been saying this for 2 years, just in fun. He wasn't looking for Joe to go caddy for him, me or whoever. He was just kind of saying it. And then he had obviously a nice career at Pepperdine. And then last year he played okay, I think. And that's when Joe started working for him. My Joe started working for him in the fall. And they had a tremendous fall. And then obviously that's carried over into this year.
So a little bit of, hey, I told you, I called this there, Joe, and you saw this, right?
Typical Fred, he's going to undersell it and never say that because that's just how Fred is. But I'll tout him because he did call it, and he said, he's not surprised in the one bit that this kid won in the way that he won.
What about Tiger? Did you hear from Tiger at all on the day?
I did. Typical Tiger. He gave me the 3-word text, but he was obviously very, very excited for Joe because he loves Joe, and it was just nice that he took the time and he was probably watching or at least knew that he won and sent me the text.
Just an attaboy kind of thing?
Yeah, attaboy. Or can you believe that? I can't remember exactly what it was. There might have been a swear word in there, but he was very excited for Joe.
Tiger will be Tiger. I mean,
exactly.
Come on, you can't change the man.
I wouldn't expect him to change one bit.
Well, you've been through some battles with Tiger. You on the back for him, and I think about the players. You guys won his second Players,
Right.
and you were there in 2013. What is it like? We got that coming up, Sawgrass. Like, what is that challenge like as a caddy when you take on the finish at Sawgrass?
Yeah, as you know, it's not an easy finish. I've been fortunate to work for guys that won a couple times there, and they both finished off in style. You know, Tiger hit that great 7-iron on 16 into the front bunker where he was trying to hit it and got it up and down, and then made that magnificent 2-putt on 17. And then I'll go back a long ways. People don't remember, but in 96, you know, Fred makes the eagle on 16 and birdies 17, and then he hits it way in the right rough on 18, but hits this big old slice out over the lake and knocks it almost on the green, an easy 2-putt for the win. So you know, for me, I've been fortunate. You know, Fred owned that place, always had high finishes, won it twice. I had a conversation, I think, in 2012, late 2012, and just basically told Tiger, I didn't give him any pep talks along the way, but I basically told him, I said, this course is cut out for you. I think, to me, it's a second shot golf course. Very demanding mid-iron golf course. You know, it's intimidating off the tee, but there's still room once you get out there. Greens are kind of small, tricky up and downs, but if you're on control of your 6, 7, 8 irons, you should eat the golf course up. And I told Tiger that. He took it to heart and won that tournament in 2013, one of my most special moments.
Well, that's interesting. You say one of the most special moments. How so? Like, what resonated for you?
Only because I felt like, and I'm certainly not the reason he won the golf tournament, but I felt like, you know, Tiger needs a reason to know why he should do something better. And I explained to him, I said, the same thing, I just said it, but it's a second shot golf course. You're the greatest iron player of all time. He never went there with a bad attitude, but I think his attitude was a little defeatist. Like, you know, I've never had a good tournament here. Yeah, he won in 2001 when he was winning everything. But otherwise, all through the years, he never really had good finishes there and good tournaments there. So, again, I think it was more of a defeatist attitude versus a bad attitude. And I think when I explained that to him about the second shot golf course, he took that to heart. I'll never forget, because he was going to play Quill Hollow the week before. This was back when it was in May. And he texted me, he said, listen, Augusta took a lot out of me. I'm not ready. I need more time off. And then I want time to practice. So I'm not going to play Charlotte, but I promise you I'll be ready for TPC. And sure enough, he went up there and won and played fantastic. So that was very special to me. Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine also special for you was caddying for him in 2019 at the Masters. That win. I just think when you caddy at Augusta, you get to Amen Corner, these iconic spots. What is it that you really have to do? You know, is it just lean on your strengths? Like, how do you look at things when you're on Amen Corner?
Like you said, it can be tough and it's not easy. You know, thankfully I work for guys that hit a lot of solid shots. So I think that's first and foremost. Hit a solid shot. You know, I'm talking about 11 and 12, right? You get through those 2 holes with pars, I think you're ahead of the game. And that's kind of what Tiger did, winning his 5 jackets, and that's kind of what Fred did. You know, obviously Fred got a break on number 12 in 1992. But, you know, play smart shots, but hit solid golf shots. That's the key.
Commitment to the shots?
Commitment to the shot. And so I guess maybe as a caddy, you're just trying to give him that confidence that he has the right club and go ahead and hit it. And we got the right one. And just make sure that he's confident and comfortable with what he's doing.
Swirling wins on 12, is it just a matter of just navigating it, being confident with what your decision you do make? Or?
Yeah, 100%. And that's one shot that you can actually feel the wind. It's doing something else up by the green. You can catch a bad break there. I mean, I think that's kind of what happened to Tony Finau a little bit when we played with him. And guys in the past, and Jordan Spieth and so on and so forth. So, again, I think it's important that you hit a solid shot. I think a solid shot's going to work its way through the wind no matter what it happens to be doing if it changes. And then obviously you want to aim a little left there, and you don't want to get crazy there. You know, you don't win the golf tournament there, but you can certainly lose the golf tournament there.
Well, it's interesting. I've talked to Justin Rose in the past about the back nine on Sunday, and he's like to say, you know what? Yes, there are scoreable holes and scoreable pins, but there's always something right around that corner. If you're not careful mentally, you let your guard down, you could make a big mistake and get compounded. What is your kind of take on that?
Well, he's right. Rosie's right. I mean, you can accept. You don't want to make 4, obviously, on a hole. It's a par 3. But you can live with 4 because, like you said, are scoreable holes. I think every hole after that is a birdie hole. You know what I mean? You still got to hit good shots. But 13 is very birdieable. 15. 14, if you hit a good drive, it's a 9 or a wedge. 16 can be birdied, especially with that pin on Sunday. You know, 17, these guys drive it so far up there, it's a shorter iron. That's birdieable. And 18, with that pin, you can birdie that too. So, you know, like he says, get through 10, 11, and 12, and then get after it 13 through 18.
I always remember the text. It resonates with me after you guys won in 2019, you and Tiger. And the first text you got from him after you guys both left property, it was, I'll actually have you repeat it for the audience, just how cool that was.
Well, he basically, you know, just thanked me in so many words, love you like a brother, that kind of a thing. He was very thankful that, you know, I kind of stuck it out with him through all his trials and tribulations and just was very nice in that manner. Yeah.
I mean, because obviously for him and his career, what he had been through, as you kind of mentioned, trials, tribulations. I mean, stuff like that. You just never know how a day like that's going to play out. You didn't ever know if you're going to get in the final group, but it just worked out because of scheduling, because of rain.
Sure.
Didn't it feel like there were a lot of fortuitous things at play in addition to his good play, right?
No, you're 100%. Before we even teed off, like you said, they called to play earlier, which Augusta never does. And so now all of a sudden we're in the last group and second to last group. I think if Tony and Francesco had been in the last group by themselves, there's less people watching and maybe less pressure on them. Now all of a sudden they're playing with Tiger. The people aren't rooting against those two guys, but they're certainly pro Tiger. And so I think that helped us. I think it made a big difference in being in the last group with those two guys. And then you talk about, you don't know if it's going to happen or not, but Tiger was so confident in how he was playing. He had the kids come up. He wanted the kids to be there in case he won his fifth green jacket, and that's how it worked out. Yeah.
Just like at the end there, like he had kind of gotten their attention and brought them up.
Special moment for everybody, but as a father, I mean, it was an incredible moment. For him to go full circle when he won his first Masters and his parents were back there, and then he wins the Masters and the kids are back there, I mean, it's a moment I'll never forget. Yeah.
Well, great stuff, Joe. Always appreciate it,
Yeah,
and good luck here the rest of the way.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Garrett.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Thanks so much again. Yeah.
The kids left. They didn't come back, right?
Kids, they're not.